Babu Tobijan. Babu Tobijan. Babu Tobijan. Thank you, Mr. Tobijan. I've just read your note that you will be unable to speak, but at least you will be able to write alongside. So I will come to this column quite often to check as to what is here, if there will be anything new on the comments here. Thanks on that one, Babu Tobijan. I'm quite aware, Babu Tobijan, I'm quite aware that it is already 9 o'clock. I'm still waiting for a few colleagues to join. Yet I know that Mr. Sibanyoni and I can't remember the other one has actually sent their apologies to this meeting. But as for other colleagues, they have accepted the invitation. Hopefully, they are on their way to connecting into this. Thanks so much.
Go back to them. Oh, Tata, go get something.
Colleagues, good morning. A few colleagues are saying they're experiencing some challenges, like Mr. Chirangwana. He says, let's give him 1 or 2 minutes. He will be here connected. Thank you.
Good morning, doctor.
Okay, colleagues, thanks. I see that Mr. Chirangwana has joined Mr. Tobijani. Now, before I can actually go even more further, I need to find out if Mr. Mashaula, can you hear me? An external person whom I'm supposed to acknowledge. Uh, this external person, I don't know if it's a person from the faculty of education from the University of Pretoria. I may not know, but this person is joining us. But because there's nothing to hide here, the person is more than welcome to be here. Thank you, MN, for joining us. Before I can start, Mr. Mahlaula J, are you here? Do you hear me?
Miner, I can hear you, but I'm currently busy, but I'm on. I will also catch up with the recordings.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you so much. I just wanted to have some kind of a talk from that side because I could be talking alone for quite some time. Like just earlier on, I was talking with my mic muted. So I don't know whether what I've said is what I'm saying now because of that. But now, colleagues, let me quickly run through a few important things. Thank you for making yourself available. I really appreciate your time. I know a few colleagues have actually sent their apologies. The college has got a lot of things to do, things to be done. There's hectic schedules at the college. We know that. So a few may not join us as a result. Now, there's a few things that I need to make as a disclaimer. In our college, you see, as HODs, we are not part of the strategic planning that we know. So I'm saying this because it is easier for most of my classmates at the university, to get into this work and see it as a very simple thing. But with me is a very, very, very tall, order in terms of it being, a learning curve, this, that. There's so many things to talk about here. And I believe that as I'll be talking, I'll be educating myself. I will also be trying to educate you as well. The session will be recorded with your permission. Thank you. Now it is 9:15. Allow me to start. Let me quickly share let me quickly share my presentation with you and then ask you if you see my presentation. Do you all see the slide as shared on the screen?
Yes. Yes, I can see
Thank you.
it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, this is about the strategic planning. Like I've said, like I've alluded to, it's a new thing in me having to go through all the presentation with understanding and all that. I've got an hour to do this. I have just heard the voice of Mr. Nkosi N. Mr. Nkosi N, can I kindly ask you that halfway down the line, 30 minutes from now, just give me an indication so that I can actually know how to pace my speed from that moment. If I was slow, I would be fast. If I was fast, I would be slow in order to do the whole thing correctly. I hope my request is taken care of. Colleagues,
Yeah,
I'm going to be
it's
presenting
taken
to
care
you.
of. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I am going to be presenting to you a strategic plan for the college where I'm working. It is a five-year strategic plan, which is one of the modules that I need to do at the university. Now, let's get to know quickly as to what is a strategic plan. I want to give an overview of the strategic plan. This is a plan that outlines the college's long-term goals and strategies for achieving all those goals, providing direction, aligning efforts, prioritizing resources, and defining measurable outcomes for monitoring the progress. Now, this document has to be influenced by the NDP, which is the National Development Plan of the 2030, it also has to consider the 4IR, the Fourth Industrial Revolution. We can't do without the Fourth Industrial Revolution. It has to come in. The National Development Plan is a very big document which is out there. People can always go and Google it. You will actually get to see how it has to inform the strategies of the college. The other thing is the seventh administration, the GNU, that has to come in. Now, the plan aims to promote a culture of excellence in effective teaching and learning for the college's core business, focusing on skills development and sustainability. Now, the strategic plan, why should we have it? What purpose does it serve if it is there? Like I've indicated, it provides direction, it aligns goals, informs decision-making, improves performance. If you don't have a strategic plan, it's like you're shooting in the dark. But if you do have a strategic plan, you know what to do, what times to do that, when to do it, how to do it. That's the purpose of a strategic plan. So if we are a college, we can't be without a strategic plan, actually. Now, the strategic plan has to talk to the vision, mission, and values. Why? Because the mission, vision, and values are basically what drives us, is what we are in for. Remember, a vision is an ideal future state. It is an ideal future state that the college aims to achieve. Is an ideal future, is how we want to see ourselves in the future, how we should be in the future. Whereas the mission is the services and all that we do to achieve this vision. And then there has to be values that are actually, driving us towards that. Now, when this strategic plan that I have here has actually considered a whole lot of context, we need to know as a college, we need to know also as a campus as to where are we situated. We need to know how do we relate to the outside world. We need to know how the mega trends are affecting education. We need to know how mega trends are affecting life in general. Now, if we look at South Africa and the whole African continent, we know in as far as education is concerned, we know there is a whole lot of issues there. There is unemployment, there's issues of economic growth, there's issues of socio-political challenges, this which has to be integrated to the vocational curriculum harmonization. Now, if we look at the landscape now, that is actually Africa looking into South Africa and the whole landscape of education. Here, I just decided to give this quote that Jones and Taylor, they are advocating for an alignment of the vocational education with industry so as to address inadequate skills of graduates. International standards are prioritized alongside national qualifications framework. But here, all what is key is there has to be that alignment of what we are doing to the skills for our graduates. Now, this strategic plan provides for that. Now, we quickly look at the international trends and mega trends. International trends and mega trends these are global forces that are forcing us to behave in a particular manner, that are forces that you can't resist. Globalization and digital technology change job market. There, I think colleagues will agree that they change the job market, the globalization and the digital technology. We know digital has actually come and we can't do without the digit. It says the global best practices like German dual system address technological advancements and sustainable goals for relevant job market. Well, where am I? I'm lost. Okay, yeah. Now, this then says that these global forces like digitalization, we can't do without. Now, if we are to have a strategy that is to be in line with all these global forces, then we need to be aware as to what is happening in the line of technology, what is happening in the line of politics, what is happening in the line of social issues and all that. Now, we also need to then know as to what is it that in our college, which can also be broken down further to the campus, as to what is it that we are looking for. Now, the college is prioritizing a supportive learning environment with industry-aligned education, where there's modern facilities, mentorship, support services for student access. This is what the strategy has to be guided by. Now, there can never be a strategic plan without a vision and a mission. Now, for this strategy, for my strategy, I have decided to go with the vision of the college. I think we all know that we want to be world-class TVET institution where people are empowered with relevant knowledge and skills, preparing them for the labor market as well as for self-employment. How do we get to achieve that? We will get to achieve that by creating a quality learning environment that anticipates, prepares for, and meets the education, training, and development expectations of our students, lecturers, everyone, of our clients. You can look at that as stakeholders. What are our values? What are the values for this strategic plan? I've actually taken three main values that are guiding my strategy. The first one is excellence, committed to providing high quality education and training. The integrity, upholding ethical standards in all interactions with students, staff, and industry partners. Basically, all stakeholders, innovation, embracing new methods and technologies in education to enhance learning experiences. So I've just decided to have my strategy with just the three main values. They can be added with time. There's no wrong with it. Now, the other thing quickly is we need to look at external environmental factors of where the college is. It is in Gauteng Ekurhuleni municipality, surrounded by many production and manufacturing factories where we are. So Ekurhuleni is often called the Africa's workshop. This is the Ekurhuleni municipality is home to the most famous international airport, OR Tambo. Now, this college has lots of partnership and establishments with several, bodies, MESITA, ETDP, AgriSeta, you name them. And this college is also accredited to offer trade test infantry, boiler maker, and electrician. That's the external environmental analysis. That's the current situation, basically. Now, the internal one, if we look at the internal situation, we realize that we have 6 delivery sites. The college offers NCV as well as Report 191, business engineering. That's the internal situation as is. Now, let's quickly look into the country. In South Africa, there's a growing interest in adopting German-style methods of TVET, particularly on a dual system where schools and firms share responsibility for providing education and training. So the dual system comes up now, which then means that the whole strategy will then go in the direction of the dual system. But the dual system, it involves training at both educational institutions as well as the workplaces. And both of the trainings, of course, are aimed to equip students with various skills and competencies for successful careers. So here the idea is, in South Africa, we know there's a whole lot of mismatch in terms of how we're doing things. Now, it has come to realization that there has to be a way where we actually go to the dual approach. Now, not so long back, government has actually mandated TVET for embracing the dual approach, or rather, it's a dream that we want to go the dual approach. Now, developing a strategic plan for vocational education in South Africa involves aligning with the National Development Plan 2030. I've seen earlier. We have seen that one also as the post-school education and training plan. We know a few years back, our Minister of Education, Higher Education, Dr. Blint Nzimande, emphasized the importance of the 4IR and the government vision in terms of how artisans can be developed here in the country. There are also policies from DHET that actually, give indication to how these approaches can actually be made. Now, embracing a dual approach to vocational education, which is similar to the German system, is seen as a solution to bridge the gap and meet economic demands effectively here in our country, that which will actually address issues of unemployment and improve the whole situation. But one can ask, why must we then go the dual approach? It is because dual approach bridges theory and practice. By so doing, it meets industry needs. Vocational education must align with labor market needs for job-ready graduates, resulting in high employment rates. Students need theoretical knowledge. They also need practical skills. They also need industry collaborations for hands-on experience. So now here we see that there's a reason why we should actually go the dual route. That's the rationale as to why must we go the dual approach way. So this then starts to bring ideas that the goals for the strategies has to be aligned in terms of the dual approach. And that was some kind of build up into all these 4 goals. Now, this strategy has got 4 goals. The first goal is the dual training programs, which has to be implemented. Secondly, there has to be an increase in student internships. Thirdly, there has to be an improve in employment rates. This addresses the unemployment. So the strategic plan that I have will focus on all these 4 goals. Lastly, it will enhance faculty skills. Faculty skills will be the skills that we have within the college. You can say within the campus is fine. These are the 4 main goals for the strategy that I have. Now, this seems to be a very compressed document, but I'm not going to be, taking the whole hour trying to explain the strategic goals. Those are the 4 goals that I have actually indicated. You see the goals on the far left, where it says goal strategic, implement dual training programs, increase student internship, improve employment, and also improve the staff skills. Now, who are the key partners? What will be happening by those key partners? Key stakeholders, the resources, how the whole plan has to be communicated and be carried out and implemented. What is the cost structure to that? The cost structure will actually come clear in the second slide, but this is mainly what the goals are for the strategy. Now, remember, as a college or as a campus, we actually are a business. So there has to be business ideas within what we are doing. So the business model canvas is a strategic management tool that helps organizations, that helps us, because we can regard ourselves as an organization, that helps us to actually describe challenge and pivot the business model in a visual format. It means whatever that has to happen business-wise, we can actually now represent it in a visual format and see what is it that we can do. It is highly effective when used in the context of a strategic plan, the business model canvas. It simplifies complex concepts and provides a holistic view of how a business should operate. Like I indicated, we are to be seen as a business. Now, this business model canvas, I tried to simplify it here on the table, which is the next slide, to actually see that is a tool that helps organizations design, describe, challenge, and pivot the business model in a visual format. There we are. The key partners, key activities, what value is proposed out of that. I can just take one quickly. If we have industry partners, companies, organizations, whoever who's outside us, whoever who's out there, whom we are having a tie with, it can be through MOUs and all that. What is it that these people will be doing? They'll be actually helping to develop curriculum integration, both academic and practical skills. What value propositions is there? It's because that will actually be enhancing employability. Now, the customer relationship is all about collaborations there with these partners. So this is actually a business model. So for one to actually explain a business model, you need the whole something like 30 minutes to break it down. But 1 hour may not actually be enough because there's a whole lot of content here to be shared. But the business model actually, like I indicated, is some kind of a tool, that virtually, presents the information as to how will you do all these other things. If we look at the key partners, we've got the industry partners, government and education authorities. We know we are DHET-led. Sector-specific associations, we know mainly with us, we more on the engineering and business. As a college, we can zoom it down to engineering. Accreditation and certification bodies, we know all those, the QCTOs, and. Technology providers for digital learning, who are those? Also the international TVET network. We need to be networking internationally because we are not, or we cannot afford to be isolated out there as individual bodies out there. We need to be networked internationally. Okay. Now, the cost structures and the revenue streams, cost structure and revenues, all these things that I've talked about, you cannot achieve them if you don't have money. Now, on the cost structure, I have indicated that I can't take Mr. Zwan. I'm right in my presentation. I'm sorry, colleagues. I thought Mr. Zwani talked about something. He's supposed to be in this. I don't know if he's connected. I may not know. I'm only seeing my screen. I'm sorry. Mr. Zwani. Mr. Zwani.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you in the presentation?
Yeah, I am.
I'm right in the presentation now.
You are inside.
Yes.
And I'm happy with it.
Okay, it's fine. If you can join and let's continue. Keeping my colleagues waiting.
Sure, thanks.
Thank you. Colleagues, my greatest apologies of all times. I was saying all these ideas, thoughts that are there, they cannot be achieved if there's no money. Now, the strategy that I have designed is such that it looks into the cost structure there, as you see. There's a whole lot of things where we need to put money for. We need to put money for curriculum development. We need to put money for faculty training and development. We need to put money for partnership building. We need to put money for facilities and equipment. We need to have money for workshops. You can think of that. We need to have money for student support. We need to have money for operational costs, and all that. Now, the strategy, if you see on the far right, you can see the estimated amounts which must be there. And you can see that we're talking millions. And with the strategy, there has to be money. We cannot do with only the government, whatever they're giving us, is a subsidy or what that they're giving us. We can't do with that. It means we need to have third in-stream, stream income. We need to have that. So that's the situation, that's the cost structure. But also I want us to look at the revenue streams. If we only going to be relying on what we are given by the government, we cannot achieve the objectives of this strategy. Now we're saying there has to be other things that must come in. There has to be donations and grants. There has to be revenue from our consultancies. There has to be money from tuition fees. We know what is the situation with the tuition fees at the college now. There has to be money, from other sources. Now, or if you look on the far right, those are the estimated amounts that we will need, which is quite a number of millions of rands there, as we see. So what I'm basically trying to say here is there can't be attainment or achieving or realizing rather all this if we only relying on the money that we get from the government. So we need to be having other income streams so that we can be able to sustain all this. Now, no, okay, I've talked of that. Also talked of that. So those are the income streams and revenue streams. We can't rely on what we are given. So the money that we are given in terms of the strategy is too petty, is too small, it's too little. It can actually, accommodate all the things that we have seen. Now, how then do we sustain the plan? We will have to ensure the continuous evaluation and refinement of the curriculum based on industry feedback. Remember, once we involve industry into us, they will have to say something to us. Whatever that they will be saying to us, we need to look at that. And that kind of relationship has to be an ongoing one. Create a feedback loop between companies, students, and colleges to align training with labor market needs. We need to come out, collaborate together for one main purpose, because everyone is going to benefit at the end of it all. We need to diversify revenue streams, including increasing consultancy services and expanding partnerships to include SMEs. So having a plan and not being able to sustain it defeats the purpose. Why must we have a plan if we are not going to sustain it? Why must we have a plan if we are not going to implement it, review it, and sustain it? So this is basically the plan as to how we're going to be sustaining it. Having a plan and you're not monitoring it and you're not evaluating it again, it's boiled down to say, why have the strategy if you are not going to be doing that? So there has to be regular assessment of student employability and performance. Annual industry surveys to ensure curriculum relevance. Once the industry is involved in our curriculum issues, then we know we're talking the same language as the industry. Financial audits to ensure budget compliance and effective use of funds. Funds can be there, like I've indicated on the income on the revenue streams and cost structure. You can see there is a whole lot of millions there. But if we are not going to be using these funds effectively, it's like we don't have that money actually. So we need to make sure that through monitoring evaluation, we safeguard the money, we use the money and channel the money in the right direction so that we are able to attain and achieve the objectives of this strategy. The other thing is, I'm moving towards closing now. The other thing is the risks and the mitigation. What risks are there for this strategy that I've designed? How can we mitigate them? So the strategy identifies only 3 risks. There's a low industry engagement. Once the strategy is up there, but there is low industry involvement, then we're running a risk of not, achieving or attaining, or rather, realizing the objectives of the strategy. So how then can we mitigate that? So we need to establish, this strategy establishes clear benefits for industry partners on an ongoing basis. We need to be communicating to industry on an ongoing basis. We need to be, playing the ball equally as an industry. Remember, with the dual approach, if we don't, go to industry, if they don't come to us, it's like it defeats the main reason as to why we should exist in the line of the dual approach. The other risk is curriculum misalignment. This is basically what we are suffering from now as we speak, curriculum misalignment, where there's a total misalignment of what we are doing and what industry needs. So it is a risk. Once we are misaligned, then we know the curriculum may never meet the industry standards. So how can we mitigate that? We can mitigate that through regular consultations with industry, where we will be ensuring relevance. So it means now we need to align curriculum and what the skills are in the industry. Now, the third one is insufficient funding. Like I've indicated, if we don't have funds, we will not be able to have the strategy. My strategy, as designed, may not be effective if there will be insufficient funds. If the funds will only be coming from the status quo now in terms of how we get money as a college, if that will continue, it obviously will be a bad space for dual approach. So there has to be sufficient funds for that. So why that? Because when there is these financial constraints, there is a whole lot of other things that we can expect. We will expect the program implementation to suffer as a result. Now, how then can we mitigate this strategy? By diversifying funding sources and actively, seeking alternative grants. I know as it is now that as a college, we only need to be relying from what we're getting from the state. And I am to some extent aware that we are not allowed to actually, have that income stream from whoever, from wherever. So that has to actually now stop. We need to have all our ways in terms of how can we get enough funds so as to sustain the strategy. Now, in conclusion, here I'm saying the implementation of a strategy in the dual line represents a strategic framework for addressing the skills gap and enhancing the employability of graduates. I think this is just the main, or rather, one of the main reasons as to why we should have a strategy to enhance the employability of graduates. How will they be enhanced in terms of the employability situations? By actually giving them the relevant skills which are in line with what firms and companies out there are looking for. Now, this plan is designed to ensure responsiveness to industry needs. It talks to alignment again, providing students with both theoretical knowledge and practical skills. Unlike what is happening now, where we're only giving the theoretical part and less of practical skills, where students will struggle and forever not even get what's supposed to be there for them on the practical line. So this strategy takes care of that. Theory, practical combined. By establishing meaningful partnerships with industry stakeholders, investing that's the other one. By establishing partnerships with industry stakeholders, where as an industry, we talk the same language, where as an industry do things together, where as an industry, we are saying, how do we help, students? How do we make sure that what you are teaching out there is what we are teaching here? What we are doing there is what we are doing here. What we are doing there will transition or continue smoothly into what we need here and all that. The other thing is investing in faculty development. This is a main one. Developing in faculty development is the skills that are there within us as staff. If we're not going to be developed, it will defeat the purpose as to why should we go the dual route. Because when you check the dual route, you can't divorce practicals from theory. Now, if you are only a faculty member who has only the theory, then you're going to suffer because you also need to have the other part of it. So there has to be a continuous development. How can we do that? By investing in this exercise of developing faculty members and aligning our programs with labor market demands. What are programs saying to what is out there? I think this somehow, ties all the things back. Now, if we do that, we will then be playing a pivotal role in preparing students for the workforce and contributing to the societal development. So in the society, unemployment will actually reduce. A lot more people will not be working. When people are working, economy, begins to take shape. Now the whole country starts to flourish. Now we are high up there. So with time, we can begin to entertain ideas like, can we compare to Germany if the strategy is there? So once the strategy can be cleaned here and there and everything is put to place, funds, everything, workshops, everything is there, we will be able to actually, go up and then be seen as a global country. So now all this, which I have been talking about from the first minute, is because you don't just think and say this is the situation. You need to be reading from the people who have been there, the people who have seen it, the people who have researched, the people who have, done the spade work there. So These are references, which means it's basically what I've been consulting to build on the strategy. Because the belief and the idea is practice must be led by research. There must be research first, practice must follow. So these researchers have actually gone into the space, then we are to follow. And that is then a full stop. That then brings me to the end of the presentation. I'm checking. It's only when I'm done at the end, I see here that Mr. Tobijani says, please maximize the screen. And I was in the screen, which has actually, sort of covered as a blanket to the whole screen. It's only now I'm seeing that Mr. Tobian wanted me to maximize the screen. My greatest apologies. My greatest apologies. Mr. Chirangwana, you are with Mr. Monde. The little faint writing that you are seeing, I think he's been asking you as to what is this word, and then you've been telling him as to what that word is. Colleagues, that brings me to the end of the strategy. Like I've indicated in terms of the disclaimer that I've made, is a learning curve for me. Surely to some of you, I know there could be a few experts within the panel that we are finding ourselves in. So if there could be any questions, I think I will be able to take those questions. Bear with me if there will be a question, a high order question. Nothing stops me from saying I will look at it because it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve to me. But that actually takes me to the end of the strategy. The strategy, colleagues, is being done as a way of a module, but it's a real thing. It can be made real. It's a real thing actually. So in terms of this process, I think all of you have actually got correspondence from the University of Pretoria, where there are Google Forms where you're going to fill the Google Forms. Please do it for me. Where you're going to fill the Google Forms. I think there's feedback that you need to give there. Once you shall have given feedback, then you send it back to the university. And yeah, if any of you needs the hard copy, I mean rather the slides, I do have the slides, colleagues. Thanks.
Doctor, you've got three hands that I guess are questions.
Let's see. I have Babu Jabulani, I have Babu Sibanyan, I have Sandili. Yeah. Okay. Let me take it you in that order. Jabulani, followed by Babu Sipo, followed by Babu Sandil. Thank you, Babu Jabulani.
Morning, Dr. Hlako. My mistake one. And I apologize. I had to join you in the middle. I had something to do first. But if I had you properly towards the end, you were indicating that with the industry. So
Yes.
my question is, will we ever be, or will we ever reach that point whereby we are aligned, we have aligned ourselves with industry? Because the reason I'm asking this is because each and every day industries, they find a better way to improve their systems, and in that regard, with us, it might take 1 to 3 years to develop a curriculum, which that curriculum can run maybe 5 to 10 years. And within that 10 years, companies, they have moved or they have changed their system in a higher exponential way. So the question is, will we ever reach that point whereby we say we know that whatever we are teaching our students is what exactly is happening at industries?
Okay, thank you. Let me respond to that before I will take Babu Sibanyoni. Yeah, let me respond to the immediate question so that I don't cloud my way of thinking in terms of the response that I'm to give. Thank you for the question, Mr. Matlauda. If you okay, let me just say the strategy provides for a situation where us as the institutions do everything in line with what the companies or yes, what the companies are doing. That then says that there has to be a very strong element of collaboration. One, two, there has to be that point where the curriculum is designed not by us only, but the curriculum is designed also by them with us. So if the curriculum is designed by us and them together, we are always seeing things the same way. If there's any new development on the side of rather on their side, it is also a development on our side because we are in the same space. We don't do something there and they do something there. We work collaboratively together. So we design the curriculum together. So if there's something new, we all come quickly and say, hey, this curriculum has to be amended, has to be beefed up here and there. So that's actually what the strategy is providing for. It could be that maybe you're asking it from the background of us doing things there, them doing things there. The strategy provides that there has to be collaboration. There has to be a coming together part where things are done the same way. It is to be our curriculum with them, not our curriculum only. It's to be our curriculum. So when there's a new thing, then we actually together are affected and we together change it. Baba Mashaul. I will hear from Babu Mashaula if
Yeah, the way you are saying it does make sense, but in my opinion, I think this one it will come to the point whereby you find that
I'm listening.
I'm saying the way you have our best, it will work only in the position whereby the educators are also being given opportunity to now and then go to the company so that as the company improve their system, now they know what to teach students. Not you find in the situation whereby now they have changed their system, even the educators themselves, they need to be educated first before they can educate students. So, but the way you have outlined, I do understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe before I take over, yes, exactly that which you have said, Babu Mashaul, that educators will have to be part of the whole thing. Remember, they are also, very critical stakeholders. So whatever that's happening in the industry, immediately we know of it. Educators know of it. They are on board. They get updated. It's implemented and all that. Thanks for that, Babu Msaud.
Dr. Hlako, Dr.
Baba,
Hlako, can I
Baba.
please hijack Mr. Sibanyoni? I just received a phone call urgently to attend to something. So,
Okay,
but
thank
I just
you.
want to throw something urgently.
With the power invested in me, yeah, do that.
Yes.
I will apologize to Mr. Sibanyoni later.
Yes, I would like to acknowledge and appreciate the opportunity that you have given to me to become an adjudicator to this presentation. It seems as if one is gaining even more experience because I was also adjudicating 2 weeks back in the University of Pretoria. I want to commend you the definition of the dual approach, and you have clearly stated it well as expected. And also, I looked into your introduction, and it was quite good. Your vision and mission, even though it is the vision of the college, but you have expressed it very well. And your summary of your funding grid, looking at the amounts that you have stipulated there. One thing that took a bit of my attention was that I heard you mentioning issues of getting extra funding apart from the one that the government subsidize institutions, which I think you have a point there. And should it be presented well, perhaps maybe it can be considered, even though when we look at the experience that we have in our sector, issues of donations and funds which are coming from private institutions, they need to have a particular channel and their policies to that effect. I think you have a good point there. And lastly, I also want to say the rationale behind the dual approach, you have indicated it very well, sir. And I believe I so wish that the office of the deputy principal academics would have an opportunity to allow you some time to present so that we can see about how can we improve our institution. And one thing that I was actually lacking that I would love if you would have an opportunity to present, Go University of Pretoria, it is the issues of the benefits of the dual approach system. There's what I call the triangle, which on top of the triangle becomes the government. And then on the left side, it becomes industry. On the right side, it becomes the community. Then the middle part becomes the students. It becomes intertwined in a sense that the role that government needs to play, the role that the community needs to play, the role of our institution in supporting the students who are the core business, or they are the people whom we want to impact. I did not see much that you did not give me more of what will I benefit. Will we have graduates with knowledge, skills, adaptive capacity, practice-based teaching and learning? Are we going to have that? Continuous personal development, are we going to have that? The relationships that we're going to have with the industry and students, are they going to be inducted? What role does industry play in all this? Because when our students, when you look at the dual approach from the German model, you will realize that students in grade 11, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, already they are belonging to particular companies. So we teach them while they are already having companies they are already placed. So that's what I just wanted to say, sir. But I would love to congratulate you. You have put everything together and it really makes sense. I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Babuzwane. I have taken note of where I should improve the strategy. I'm happily going to do that. Thanks so much. Yeah, as an adjudicator, when you adjudicated the other time, now you're adjudicating me, and if you give such feedback, then I'm happy. I'm happy on that. Thanks so much. Babas Banyoni,
thank you, sir. Thank you, colleagues.
Thanks.
Thank you, Doctor.
Before you speak, Babas Banyoni, I want to apologize to you for having made Mr. Zwane overtake you. It is not because I've undermined you. It's because Mr. Zwane said he needed to go. My greatest apologies, Babas Banyoni. you will always remain one person in me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor, and good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Baba.
And good morning, colleagues. Apology accepted, Doctor. I understand.
Thank you.
Mr. Zwane explained himself very well.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me thank you for the presentation, Doctor. I think it was well articulated, and yeah, the presentation for me was very good and well done, Doctor. There are two questions that I need to talk to. I'm not so sure if they are questions or statements. But before I talk to that, I think Babu Zwane said a lot about the dual systems. It gives the impression that he understands it. Maybe you should also see him when we are done, before you submit whatever that you need to submit. I don't know if whether it has been submitted already. One other person that I would like to recommend is Mr. Gardner. He was involved, pretty much involved in the dual systems. He understands it very well. So if you don't mind, or if there's any need for you to add on your strategic plan, probably I would advise that if you can talk to him. Let me go back to what I wanted to say. In your presentation, I don't know whether I missed it or it's not there. I did not see the SWOT analysis. I'm not so sure. Maybe things change. Probably with the latest trends, SWOT analysis should not form part of your strategic plan. But if you missed it by mistake, maybe you should consider adding it. That's number one. Number two, in terms of the risk, I see you've labeled or you've mentioned a number of risks. Maybe you should also consider this one. Failure to evaluate and measure our own performance as part of the risk. Because if we can't evaluate and measure our own performance, then we don't know in which direction are we heading. I think at the moment, the college is faced with that. We're looking at our strategic plan, but we are not evaluating our performance in terms of we're not evaluating and measuring our performance in terms of the strategic plan. As a result, there's a lot of unhappiness. There's a lot of the morale becomes low, and if it affects our performance, then it will affect our output in relation to the industry for which we are trying to prepare students. Another thing. I was, as you were presenting, I was looking at the conclusion, and as much as I am the, what do you call me, the adjudicator, but part of this presentation, maybe I'm not aware, was developmental in as far as we are concerned. As I was looking at your conclusion, then I learned something, because I've always had a problem in writing conclusions. So I was analyzing yours critically and I learned something. And on that part, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you, Tote.
Thank you, Babu Zbanyoni. The few things that you have said, I will definitely take them into consideration. All those, the SWOT analysis, I will see Mr. Gardner. This is still to be submitted, so I still have a moment where I can, beef up a few things from what you have said. Thanks on that one. I'm looking at the time. We started 9:15. We are to stop 10:15. I'm seeing the hand of Mr. MN. Babu MN. Babu Spanioni, I think your hand is an old one. Just through my eyes here. Babu MN, thank you.
Thank you, Doc, and good morning, colleagues. Yeah, I'm just short on this one. Yeah, thank you. One thing that I wanted to raise was the SWOT analysis. And then also I need to commend you. I heard you speaking about the levels on macro and micro. I picked that one as you address the strategy. And then what also I would like to zoom in was your opening statement, whereby you indicated that the HODs normally they're not part of this unpacking of the strat plan, because sometimes we'll hear the senior management talks about strat plan, you know, but maybe as it is developed at college level, maybe it would be nice that that such offices should be part of the story, because at the end of the day, we are implementing, but it would be nice that we become part of the development phase of it, you know. Yeah, and then my last question, it's a question then to say, you mentioned that you'll be receiving is it a questionnaire from the institution? How soon can we receive it, or is it already loaded after this session? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have 2 minutes to run and then finish up, and thank all of you colleagues. I hear that you're also talking the same language with Babu Sibanyoni on the SWOT analysis. Thanks, I will take care of that. The HODs has not been part of the strat plan. It's actually a big thing. I think our college, EEC, is actually missing the point there, because HOD are influential in terms of what they're doing. So if they don't understand the strategy, how then do they influence all the systems to move towards attaining the mission and the vision of the college? If we see the vision and the mission of the college as separate things, the HODs are separate, then we are actually not going to get all things right. So I believe that the powers that be will actually, you know, have a way into looking into that, because where I am, a whole lot of other colleagues, they are part of this thread. And when we talking strategic plan, to them is an everyday bread. With me, I will be listening and, you know, asking them, and they're looking at me, but are you here, you know, by mistake or what? But I will take care of that. Thanks on that one. On a closing remark, I think I have 1 minute. Colleagues, I want to thank you, all of you, from the bottom of my heart for making it possible for me to do the presentation. In terms of the Google Forms, Babu Nkosi, they should have been sent to you, I think, with the communication that was requesting you for this. I will quickly make a check also, but I think they are with you. They have been sent to inbox, but I will come around and then check if they are there. Thank you so much for making my life easy, or must I say difficult. Thank you, colleagues, for everything. I really, 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 really appreciate your assistance. Thank you 100 times. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Let me write to Mr. Tobijani here. Let me write to Mr. Tobijani. If I don't write to Mr. Tobijani, then all of you guys who can hear me, let me say.
Thank you, Dokotela. We try to
Thank you,
unmute
Doctor.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we're struggling to unmute ourselves. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm saying here, thank you, Mr. Tobijani, for your time. No, Mr. Tobijani and Mr. Chira. Mr. Chira, but these ones can't hear me. Thank you so much.